Hey gamers, what's up? Welcome to Gamer Life. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about Xia Legends of a Drift System. Xia Legends of a Drift System plays between 3 to 5 players. It takes 1 to 3 hours to play. It's a sandbox, a space game, which you're moving around the board, doing pick up deliver, or piracy, or mining, or whatever you want, because it's a sandbox game. So it has a lot of different mechanics in it. So let's take a look, and then I'll tell you what I think. So here is Xia Legends of a Drift System. As you can tell, there's a lot of stuff in that box. First, let me talk about the components. It comes with these hex tiles, which is the space board. It's very good quality. One thing I really need to point out is it comes with these pre-painted ships. They're not the best quality that I've seen, but hey, when it comes to board games, pre-painted ships are pretty cool and something rare that you see. Also comes with these metal coins in two denominations, 1,000 and 5,000. Also comes with these outfits. These Tetris pieces here are pretty much the outfits on your ship. You have your missiles, your blasters, your engines, and your shields. Each ship also comes with its own player board. This is the mission deck and the titles. The titles come out after certain people have got so many victory points. The game is a sandbox game, so you can set the victory point, whatever victory point limit you want to play for that game. If you want to play a short game, you might want to think about 10 victory points. If you want a slightly longer, fuller game, you can do 15. If you want a long game that will take some time, then you go for the 20 points, the 20-point game. So what players are going to be doing on the turn is they're going to be moving across the board and doing various things to try to gain victory points. So one of the ways a player can, what players can do is they'll be using their outfits on their ship. Outfits have, you have blasters, shields, engines, and missiles. Outfits are these Tetris style pieces that you're going to be placing on your board to do various things, such as your engines. You're going to be using them to activate them to move across the board. Now players will have 4 arm tokens. They're going to have 4 cylinders here that they're going to use for various things. So for example, these engines, you can see those 3 yellow dots. That means that you can activate the engines 3 times. You'll take an activate arm token, put it on that outfit, and you'll then roll whatever it is. So for example, these engines here is a D12, so you roll a D12, and that's how many spaces you will move on your turn. Also, let me also mention that there are several ships in this game. There are tier 1s, tier 2s, and tier 3 ships. Now, and each ship has a different special ability. So for example, this Easy Tiger has an ability called Attack X. So on your turn, you can spend an energy to re-roll a dice. So players will be moving themselves across the board to various spots to mine and activate missions, so they can get do different missions to get victory points. You can go to different planets. There are neutral, good and bad planets, which you can buy and sell goods to gain money and victory points. So let me talk about victory points. How you get victory points in this game, you get them by several different ways. Whenever you go over an empty spot that has not been explored, there are going to be these tokens on the board. Whenever you go over a spot, you flip it up, and there's either nothing, money, or victory points. Another way you can get victory points is anytime you sell at least 2 goods to a planet, you clear off your ship of goods, and as long as it's sold at least 2, you will get a victory point. Every time you go up to a different tier ship, so when you go up from 1 to 2, tier 2 ship, you'll get a victory point. And from 2 to 3, you'll get another victory point. If you ever destroy one of the NPCs, there are 3 types of NPCs. There's the merchant, which is just pretty much the giant piñata. He just flies around until he gets big enough that someone wants to blow him up and get their money. There's the enforcer, which is pretty much like the law of the land. He shoots all people who have a bounty on them. And then there's the scoundrel, which is just a child. He just flies around and shoots you and runs away. You can kill one of them. There are these titles here. Every time a player gets certain points, a certain move up to the victory point track, you flip over a title, and there are different titles, such as sell 3 different types of, no, sorry, complete 3 of the same type of missions. Also, there are missions. Each missions are different. They also give you victory points. You can also spend 5,000 to buy a victory point. And in this game, you cannot buy the last victory point. You have to earn it somehow. Also, whenever you roll a d20, when you roll a 20 on a 20-sided dice, you get a victory point. Also, if a player is ever stranded out in the middle of space and they cannot get back for whatever reason, you can go there, give them some of your energy, and you get a victory point, and they cannot stop you. They cannot stop you from helping them, and you get a victory point. Now, I enjoy Xia Legends of a Drift System. It's a fun game. I love how you can pretty much do whatever you want. You can fly around, whatever situation presents itself. Like there was one game in which one planet was selling one good and the planet right next to it was buying that same good. So eventually we just went back and forth until one of us decided that we would start to shoot each other instead of trading, because eventually it was just becoming a race to see who would buy and sell the most goods the fastest, which led to some very interesting gameplay. But there are a few problems with Xia that are worth noting. For starters, it is a little bit expensive for what it is. Yes, it comes with beautiful components, but you are paying close to $85. I didn't pay that, but it is the current MSRP. Also, the downtime. Even though this game plays up to 5 players, I will never play this game with 5 players. I will play with 4 players as long as most of the players have played the game before. But to play with 4 players with all new players, the game will drag out. So with a new game, with new players, you might want to play with less victory points, say like a 5 or a 10-point victory, just so they can get a feel of the game. So there isn't too much downtime. There is the dice rolling. Because you can roll a d20 and get a victory point, leads to some odd gameplay elements in which, a player can just move to a new spot, to an unexplored spot, turn it over, get a victory point. They go to mine, they roll d20, they roll 20, they get a victory point. They then turn in the goods they mined for a victory point, and half of that is just luck. And then sometimes when you're moving around the board, if you have the biggest engine and roll a d12 and you roll a 1, you're just sitting there just moving as slow as you can across the board, while other players with a lesser engine rolls a 6 and is flying across the board. So there is that. But also, even though there is exploration in the game, I have played other games with exploration. There is combat in the game. I've played games with better combat. And even though there is a pick up and deliver mechanic, there are games that do that better. Xia is kind of like a jack of all games, but master of none. It does the combat, does exploration, does the pick up and deliver. It does all that to a point to where other games do it better, but it incorporates all that into one game. And once you see all that you can do in your turn, it does make for excellent gameplay and some fun gameplay decisions with all other players, because you can attack any other player, and as long as you don't kill them, you won't get a bounty. But once you kill them, you're going to get a bounty, and the only way to get a bounty off is by dying. And there is really no big penalty to dying, except if you have the higher tier ships, you'll have to wait more turns to come back onto the table. But all in all, I enjoy Xia. I recommend it for anybody who's looking for a good space game. That's not, say, Twilight Imperium 3, TI3, which is my favorite game. So that wraps up my review of Xia Legends of Drift System. Thanks for watching, and remember, I believe there is a game for everyone. Thank you.